Arriving at Wat Pumanfar, we first cross a broad Naga bridge whose undulating balustrades guide visitors forward with ceremonial intent. Beyond the bridge, the temple's axial pathway leads directly toward three imposing prasat-like stupas, their tiered sandstone mass rising in a manner reminiscent of classical Khmer temple mountain design. The composition of the approach, bridge, causeway, and aligned towers immediately calls to mind the grand entrance to Angkor Wat, the historic capital temple of the Khmer Empire in present-day Cambodia. We are in Buriram province, in northeastern Thailand. The development of this modern temple began around 1998 and remains a work in progress shaped under the guidance of Luang Por Deng, a highly respected Buddhist monk also known as Pra Ajahn Somsak Sangwarajito. He serves as the principal spiritual leader and advisor to the abbot of Wat Pumanfar, also known as Wat Puttabat Silla, and has played a pivotal role in defining the temple's distinctive architectural style. His vision and stewardship have guided the creation of the site's characteristic sandstone structures and ceremonial layout. In addition to overseeing the temple's development, he currently presides over the monastic community at the temple, which was officially established in May 2021. Since the temple is still, in many respects, an active construction site, there is no clear indication of where visitors should begin their exploration. We start at the stonemason's atelier in the southwestern corner and follow a path leading northward to a large reclining Buddha statue carved from multiple massive blocks of sandstone, its elongated form resting with a sense of calm grandeur. The base is adorned with a series of bas-reliefs depicting various deities, their figures emerging from the stone in intricate, stylized detail. The reclining figure represents the Buddha's parinirvana, the moment he passes peacefully from the physical world into final nirvana after his last breath, transcending the cycle of rebirth entirely and embodying complete liberation. At the far end, the Buddha's feet are carved with lotus motifs. In Buddhism, the lotus symbolizes purity, spiritual awakening, and the ability to rise above the defilements of the world, just as a lotus blooms unblemished from muddy water. This is an Indian-style Chaitya hall, a vaulted prayer hall with a characteristic barrel-shaped roof. It is reportedly the first sandstone building constructed at Wat Pumanfar, predating the series of large stone castles that were later added. The edifice features a smooth marble floor, while the sandstone pillars and walls are adorned with intricate carvings of floral motifs. The ceiling is divided into two halves, each depicting scenes drawn from Hindu cosmology, while at the back of the hall stands a large uncarved boulder accompanied by several Buddha statues. On one side of the ceiling, figures in royal attire stand among ascetic sages with long beards and knotted hair, all watching, or gesturing toward, a central sphere encircled by smaller celestial orbs. This scene evokes Hindu cosmology, with the sages serving as guardians of spiritual knowledge who oversee the cycles of creation. The opposite side depicts deities among the clouds, presiding over the heavens. At the center sits the Buddha, with a chariot drawn by black deer to his right. Around them are various divine figures, including the four-faced Brahma, set within a composition that blends Buddhist cosmology with broader Indic mythological themes. The Chaitya hall is open-sided, and along its edges stand statues of the Buddha seated before a Dhammacakka, or wheel of the law, symbolizing the Buddha's first sermon. There is also a standing figure that appears to represent Surya, the Hindu god of the sun. In front of the Chaitya is a small lotus pond, a feature typical of Khmer-style temples, Adjacent to the pond stands a smaller Chaitya, its entrance guarded by stone lions. Its pillars are carved with a single large lotus, and within it is a gilded statue of Brahma, the Vedic creator god. Behind this lies a landscaped garden dotted with small stupas and large boulders carved with bas-reliefs drawn from both Buddhist and Hindu traditions. Among them stand stone statues of the Buddha in various poses that depict key episodes from his life, alongside figures of venerated monks from the past, such as Pra Siwali and Luang Pu Thwad. The golden Thai letters inscribed on the base of this stupa read, Arahang Put To, an epithet referring to the Buddha as the perfected and enlightened one. Arahang denotes one who has attained complete purity and liberation, while Put To signifies the awakened one. Together, the phrase serves as a devotional affirmation of the Buddha's perfected qualities and is widely used in Thai Buddhist chanting and meditation. The golden letters inscribed on the rock base of this stupa read, Yo, Wo, So, an abbreviation of Yati Waja Sankakam, a Vinaya term referring to the formal procedure by which the monastic community, or Sangha, enacts an official decision. In Thai monastic practice, this term is often shortened to its initial consonants and applied to sacred structures to signify that the site has been formally consecrated through the proper Sangha act. Although the temple's development began around 1998, it was only officially established as a temple on the 8th of October, 2019 and later formally certified as a Buddhist temple on the 31st of May, 2021. The site of Wat Pumanfar originally began on a modest plot of 15 rai, approximately 2.4 hectares or 6 acres, donated by devoted followers, but it later expanded and now occupies an area of over 200 rai, around 32 hectares or 79 acres. Within its grounds are multiple structures carved from sandstone, designed to evoke the aesthetic of ancient prasat hin, or stone palaces, sandstone sanctuaries in the Khmer style. The flagship project within the complex is Samnaksong Santitham, whose layout bears a deliberate resemblance to Cambodia's Angkor Wat. To its south stands another prominent building, Sihar Nakhon, meaning City of Lions or Dwelling Place of Lions. The architectural style of Wat Pumanfar reflects a revivalist approach. Drawing inspiration from classical Khmer and Thai stone temples such as Prasat Panamrung and Prasat Hin Pi Mai, while all constructions are of contemporary origin. The design emphasizes elaborate bas-relief carvings and structural motifs that recall historic monuments, aiming to create a stone castle monastery that embodies both religious devotion and cultural heritage. The design of Samnaksong Santitham has attracted international attention, as Cambodian officials have argued that the complex constitutes an imitation of Angkor Wat, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Thai authorities and the temple management, however, maintain that the design is rooted in Thai historical architectural traditions and represents an original creative synthesis rather than a direct copy. This debate underscores broader questions regarding cultural inspiration, architectural revivalism, and heritage ethics in a region where Thai and Khmer historical influences intersect. The construction of Wat Pumanfar remains an ongoing project, carried out with modern tools and techniques that facilitate the carving and assembly of massive sandstone blocks. One cannot help but imagine the extraordinary effort that would have been required in the early 12th century AD, when construction began on Angkor Wat, relying solely on manual labor and rudimentary tools. The impression is that, despite the significant progress already achieved, much work remains before the project can be considered complete. Substantial efforts are still required both in the construction of the larger structural elements and in the intricate ornamental details. Given the scale and ambition of the complex, it is likely that the work will continue for many years, if not decades, before the temple reaches its intended form. These stone pillars, also called candle columns, are each topped with a lotus bud capital, symbolizing lanterns that in ancient stone Prasat Hin palaces were placed along the royal walkway. Arranged in rows on both sides of the path, they illuminated the approach to the sanctuary. They are known as Sawanang Riang or Sawanang Jaran, and are said to represent heavenly apsaras standing in line to welcome the king. The pillars are square in shape, often with a subtle waist indentation, resembling stylized slender ladies. We are back at the garden, where an elevated rock platform features a stone statue of a rishi. In Hindu and Buddhist traditions, a rishi, in Thai called Ru Si, is a revered sage or seer, often depicted as a hermit who has attained deep spiritual insight through meditation and ascetic practice. Rishis are considered custodians of sacred knowledge and are frequently portrayed in temple art as wise, elderly figures with long beards and ascetic robes, symbolizing the pursuit of enlightenment and the guidance of spiritual seekers. Wat Pumanfar is also referred to as Anachak Hin, which means the stone kingdom or realm of stone. It functions simultaneously as a site for Buddhist practice, meditation, and pilgrimage, and as a cultural landmark. It combines devotional purpose with contemporary architectural ambition, raising important considerations about the relationship between modern religious construction and historical stylistic traditions. It is almost full moon, a moment of special significance in Buddhism. The full moon marks the time when many important events in the Buddha's life are commemorated, including his birth, enlightenment, and passing into parinirvana. In Theravada practice, full moon days are considered auspicious for meditation, reflection, and observance of precepts, and temples often hold ceremonies, offer alms, and conduct communal chanting on these occasions. Symbolically, the full moon represents completeness, clarity, and the illumination of wisdom, reflecting the Buddha's own attainment of enlightenment and the light of Dhamma that dispels the darkness of ignorance. In Thai, a full moon day is known as Wan Pen. These days frequently coincide with important Buddhist observances, referred to as Wan Pra or Wan Tham Masawana, Dhamma Day. The day preceding the full moon is called Wan Kon, or Shaving Day, traditionally observed on the final day of the waxing gibbous phase or the day before Wan Pen. On this day, Buddhist monks and novices shave their heads anew. One symbolic reason for this practice is to resemble the features of a naga, recalling the mythical serpent's assistance to the Buddha during his ordeal to attain enlightenment. In Thai tradition, this ritual also carries merit-making significance. Children who ordain or become Bwat Nak help their parents accrue merit and improve their prospects for a favorable afterlife.